I've decided to return to my undisclosed location. First off, this time of year there's a lot of flowers that are already in full bloom, and I know that that cannabis plant that I found should be budding with a lot of free weed. So I go and scavenge around and see what I can find. And I'm not the only one. Wildlife, like deer, love to eat cannabis plants, which is why it's never a good idea to plant any outdoors.
Well, Cricket and I never found Sasquatch, but did find a bunch of free weed, which I guess in a lot of ways is much better than finding Sasquatch.
Of course, it's all fun and games until your entire weed crop gets devoured by a deer. All these damn criminals think they can do whatever they want out there in the woods, but just know if you're conducting illegal activity out there, you might not be able to see me, but I can see you. So stop doing it, because going to jail is just no fun. My investigation remains close to the waterways, and I'm still pretty convinced that if I stay close to these rocky slopes, I could find something at some point moseying up the side of that mountain. Other than visual and audio indications of Sasquatch, one of the bigger pieces of evidence surrounding the lure, the existence of the creature, is simply the aroma, the strong, pungent aroma, which is what gives the creature the nickname Skunk Ape. Eyewitnesses and people who claim to have close encounters with Sasquatch often describe the pungent aroma that's associated with the creature, which is something that's very unique and unlike any other fragrance or aroma you can smell. To this day, I've never smelled anything like that in the woods, so who's to say that I was ever even close in the first place to finding a Bigfoot? But my instinct is that I should at least wait out the rest of the summer while I'm up here and see what evidence I can gather. Consistently on a daily basis, I check the tippy-top cameras, and it's routine to do the night investigation every night I'm here. At the very least, I know I'll be able to turn up some audio recordings of coyotes, and if I analyze them closely enough, perhaps I'll even hear the distant call of the Sasquatch. And it's all the same shit over and over and over again. I get up in the morning and I start my drone up. And I try to do a treetop survey of the surrounding area. If there's anything around there that's visible, I'm trying to scurry away. My best chance of getting it on video would be with the drone. And then I head out on foot for a day hike, which again is pretty routine, and it's a lot of the same thing over and over again. But I don't mind. I enjoy being in the woods this time of year, and being a diligent Sasquatch investigator means doing your due diligence and making sure to be as thorough as possible so as to not overlook any hidden clues or details that would otherwise go unnoticed. This will be one of my last investigations for the summer. I'll try to do a few last sweeps over the waterways. But it's important to understand how many variables actually come into play. Everything is constant motion. For instance, animals like deer are constantly shedding and changing their coat at all times of the year. This is a variable that people don't take into account, but the Sasquatch is a light brown color in the summer per se. By the time the winter comes around, his fur could be a radically different shade of color. The color of an animal's fur changes all year, ideally and naturally, to suit its surrounding environment so as to blend in as best it can in whatever surrounding environment it finds itself in. If for nothing else, this vast collection of deer footage that I've cataloged serves as an example of exactly what a deer looks like throughout every single season of the year. As you can see, a deer will start off the year with its winter coat, which is darkest and thickest as it's going to be all year. As the weather changes to spring, it'll shed this coat and develop lighter and thinner hairs until eventually it gets its summer coat, which is the lightest, both in color and in texture. As the summer turns back to autumn and autumn turns back to winter, you'll see a progression again of the shedding of the summer coat and the emergence of the dark and thicker winter coat. I have to conclude that Sasquatch is no different than any of these other animals, and that its coat also changes color and texture all throughout the year. This simply means that Sasquatch is optimally camouflaged at any given point in time, which is no wonder why it's so difficult for people to actually capture conclusive video evidence of him. Or like I had initially theorized, perhaps Sasquatch is a trans-dimensional creature, and regardless of what color his hair is, he could simply open up a portal to another dimension, step on through it, and just like that, he's disappeared. Perhaps I too can learn those skills. It seems like I would have to, in order to get the upper hand on whatever the hell is out there.